Hello everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel, Cap Social Network once again. So in today's video, I want to talk about a very serious and taboo issue that needs to be addressed, and it's not addressed enough, pertaining to black on black homicide. And with that being said, I also want to talk about the no snitch policy that exists usually in the African American communities, because we'll do all we can to protest anytime a white American usually kills or murders a black American. What may usually go as far as protesting, vandalizing businesses. Case in point, look at what happened 3 years ago on behalf of George Floyd's murder. However, anytime it's a tragedy in the African American community by the likes of a black American person murdering another black person, we usually keep quiet. And this is a perfect example, ladies and gentlemen, of how the majority of African Americans suffer from Stockholm syndrome, suffer from schizophrenia, suffer from bipolarism, due to how we look at it as so normal to be able to annihilate and murder one another. Anytime though it's somebody usually from another nationality that may murder a black American person, especially with the popularity of cell phones and social media, and that same incident may happen to go viral, just like the George Floyd incident did 3 years ago. We want to get so much in our feelings and get so defensive, so sensitive, to the extent where, once again, we make it such a big issue when other races murder each other. But we hear about in some of the biggest major cities by the likes of St. Louis, Kansas City, Missouri, Los Angeles, California, Atlanta, Georgia, New Orleans, what else? Miami, Florida, my hometown of Birmingham, Alabama, Detroit, Michigan. And with that being said, I want to read you some statistics based upon the website birminghamwiki.com pertaining to the black on black homicide and genocide rate in Birmingham, Alabama so far this year in 2023, which is practically gone. I know it's hard to believe how this year flew by, but it's just a prime example of how time flies. And it's passing us more than ever now, because it seems like it was just yesterday when 2023 had just arrived, when it was January. Now look at how it's already December. Anyway, and that's another topic for a whole other video. I'm going to show you some statistics courtesy of, once again, the crime rate in my city of Birmingham, Alabama, on behalf of birminghamwiki.com. Some statistics that I have highlighted. Oh, hold on. Let me share my screen. Okay, 136 homicides have been reported in the city as of December 4th, putting the city on pace for 147 for the year. Based on a 2022 census estimate of 196,910 population, that represents a homicide rate of 74.4 homicides per 100,000 residents. Birmingham had 153 homicides in 2022, a record high. The recent record low of 62 homicides was set in 2014. At this point in 2022, 142 homicides have been reported. The city has averaged 12.2 homicides per month, or one every 2.5 days. There were 12 incidents in January 3rd and 3, in February, 16 in March, 14 in April, 14 in May, and 13 in June, 16 in July, 9 in August, 11 in September, 14 in October, 11 in November, and 2 so far in December. The longest stretches without a homicide were the 13-day spans between February 22nd and March 7th. and between September 4th and 17th. 24 deaths were reported on Sundays, 21 on Mondays, 20 on Tuesdays, 15 on Wednesdays, 16 on Thursdays, 17 on Fridays, and 24 on Saturdays. 8 of the reported homicides have been ruled justifiable as self-defense by investigators or prosecutors, and 1 was a police shooting presumed to have been justified. With the exception of those cases, the department acknowledges 126 chargeable homicides, 6 of which were prosecuted as manslaughter. Suspects have been identified in 49 cases, arrested in 49 and charged in 42. 2 suspects died by suicide without being charged. So I'm going to exit out of here and go back to StreamYard. But this is also a prime example of why us as a whole, as a Black American race, need to put the guns down, need to learn how to unify and get along more better with our Black brothers and sisters. Because whether we know it or not, gentlemen, to all my brothers that's listening to this video, that could be one main factor why more African American females have decided to divest. I mean, they already look at us, most of us African American men, their own fellow African American males, as no good and trifling. This adds even more fuel to the fire, so to speak, though, where how we keep on annihilating and murdering each other, us Black males. And women, y'all are just as guilty too, on behalf of you women that may have partaken in murdering your intimate partner, because there have been quite a bit of domestic violence cases that have taken place over this year, throughout this year, and over the few previous years between Black couples as well, because there's just as many females almost that carry pistols as it is males nowadays. So females, you're just as guilty of taking out your own fellow Black sisters. Anyway, and on that note, I wanted to show some clips pertaining to this taboo topic, which hardly ever gets addressed. Instead, we like to take matters into our own hands. Anytime though there may be a non-Black person to murder a Black person, that's when we want to usually solve that issue of a Black person being killed. As long as it's not happening within our own community. Anytime it may happen in our own community, that's when we keep quiet due to the quote unquote no snitching policy, which needs to just end. Because why not have a no snitch? If we want to make such a double standard out of killing one another without looking at it as a second thought, why not be the same way whenever someone that's another race kills us, kills one of our own kind? Why not enforce that same no snitching policy then? Why get our feelings, even more of our feelings, and so defensive anytime a non-Black person kills another Black person? I'm just saying. Anyway, I'm going to show some clips on behalf of Black Genocide. All of these are on behalf of TikTok, and it should be 3 clips pertaining to this particular subject. So bear with me.
Ourselves. We're not when another man, I know I've been in a position, it's out of our control. It's not like he wants to kill. He just doesn't want to die. You know what I'm saying? It's that situation when we are living in a war zone. It's not as easy as these people are making us think, that they just got some criminal ass black kids with guns. It is not like that. We live in hell. We live in the gutter. We got us stacked up 80 deep in one building. You know, by the time you get out your house, you strapped to protect yourself. Because you living in the same community that the police is carrying rifles and riot gear. Same, they need them riot, excuse my language, I'm so sorry. The same reasons they need the riot hat, the riot jacket, the flak jacket, the double vest, the 9mm Glocks with extra bullets, the tear gas, the mace, all that. Who do you think the police is using that against? Dogs? So we fighting the same villains that they fight in the street. But instead of them seeing us
I apologize, folks, for this video ending so abruptly. Anyway, and this is on behalf of the late, great Tupac Shakur, which was spot on and giving his 2 cents on this here matter. Anyway, I'm going to show 2 more clips, both courtesy of TikTok, pertaining to black on black genocide.
Good evening. My name is Devon Trey Norman, and I am the president and director of the Village 337. I bring you greetings from my home office, as this is a message that I do believe must be delivered on tonight. I am saddened to hear about more shootings that are continuing to take place across our region, throughout our state, and across our country. But I am not surprised. What I come to tell you today is that America has a reckoning to do. And for those of you who are continuing to ask the question, what about black on black crime? I must remind this liberal America that it is time for you to stop victim blaming, because black on black crime only exists in black communities because black people live in black communities. The reality of it is we have an issue with a community of people that are not getting the resources that they need. And so what happens is they continue to find themselves in a state of survival mode. And what we do know is that once you are in that state, and once you are in that position in a community that is undernourished, undernurtured, does not have the amount of resources that it needs to take care of the people in the community, then it becomes a dog-eat-dog world. Then it becomes a situation where people do what they need to do in order to survive. Now, do you and I think that that is moral? Well, that's really irrelevant to the fact that these are the things that they feel they need to do in order to gain status, to gain wealth, to gain knowledge, or to simply survive. And so what I urge those leaders in our community to do, and those that continue to ask the question, well, what we gonna do about us? Let's legislate. Let's push our councilmen and women, our congressmen and women, our senators, and everyone else in this government, most especially our mayor, and locally, that's locally, statewide, nationally, and everywhere else, to change the laws that continue to keep us in poverty, the laws that continue to perpetuate white supremacy on our people. Because what has happened is that we have reached the reality that we all, those of us who have been conscious, have waited for but hoped would never come. And so now that we are all conscious and God has opened up all of our hearts and our eyes, I urge us to do what's right and to get involved. God bless you.
That's the part I'm talking about. We're literally, bro, we're killing each other. How are we gonna protest about freaking cop shootings and we about dead? Like, bro, we are outnumbering these police in killings, bro. Like, I don't think people really understand that. Like, bro, we're literally outnumbering these people. Like, by a lot. You know? It's just, theirs make headlines, ours doesn't. That's the only difference. Theirs go nationwide. I'm talking about all over Earth. All over Earth. Ours doesn't. Why? Because no one cares. And that's, people make it so to the point where that's our culture. And it shouldn't be that way.
Okay, so that's the end of the clips that I wanted to show, all on behalf of TikTok, on behalf of Black on Black Genocide. And I also wanted to state how we need to come to the realization as Black folks that we need one another. And if we don't stop taking out one another, we'll become eventually extinct, especially when us Black American males, because there already are few of us left right now as opposed to Black American women. Once again, this is one of the reasons, and this is just in my personal honest opinion, why some Black American women are going outside of their race to find true love and happiness. And let's not mention, on behalf of the huge incarceration rate amongst Black American males as well. Anyway, I have said enough and a mouthful, and I'm going to end this video. Take heed to what I just said, my 2 cents I just gave to all the people that are listening to this video, all my fellow Black brothers and sisters, and take it with a grain of salt. Until next time, I hope you guys have a good one. And be safe out there.